gates to hell. Oh, I was just like, this son of a
I think
bitch.
he just busted a nut.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
And this is Ito.
And we are
the Carbonation Conversation.
I'm just fucking with you.
What I do?
I'm just relaxing. Reviewing a movie that's not from Netflix.
Nefarious.
By Amazon Prime. We don't know if it's exclusive, but we saw it on Amazon Prime. Yeah. Therefore, that's the only place you can really see it at this moment. And don't hesitate to like, subscribe, ring that bell.
All that good stuff.
Our journey to 1,000 subscribers. I was looking at it, a couple of days ago, and we went from 9 to a hefty 18. Ooh, all right. And we are definitely seeing your feedbacks, but I also always want to say, definitely like and subscribe because it helps us drink beer and bust through that motherfucking algorithm.
Damn right.
So, let's get started with this movie.
And a happy new beer.
Of course. A happy new beer. Nefarious, horror, thriller.
I wouldn't say horror. I wouldn't say horror. More like thriller, but
directed by Chuck Konzelman and Carrie Soman. Writers Carrie Soman, Chuck again, and Steve Deese.
It was based off a novel, A Nefarious play by Steve Deese.
So, quick thoughts. What did you think?
I liked it. I thought the actor Sean Patrick Flannery that played Nefarious or whatever did a great job. I thought the way how he played him and stuff was pretty tripped out.
He's from Boondock Saints, right?
Apparently, but he also played Powder. You remember that movie?
I'm looking at his shit right now. Powder.
Yeah, you remember Powder?
Yes, I do remember Powder.
He was the albino. Yes.
Oh wow.
He was
Holy
Powder.
Fucking shit. And he was in Saw 3D, huh?
Yeah.
It's so fun. Power. Wow. Powder. It's so funny that you brought that up because motherfuckers loved that movie back in the day, especially my people. It was a fucking
and Jeff Goldblum is in there.
Yeah. I forgot about Jeff. And so that was when all the Phenomenon and that other one with fucking Bruce Willis, where they all end up dying at the end because they have superpowers or some shit like that. I forget.
Unbreakable, you talking about?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Unbreakable. I could have sworn Bruce Willis starred in some sort of movie where he was kind of like...
The Sixth Sense?
Yeah, I guess. No, I may be just talking about John Travolta and Phenomenon. I could just be talking about that guy. I remember what's the name did it too with Hearts in Atlantis. The fucking Rebel Moon, the robot. Anthony Hopkins. Wasn't it Anthony Hopkins?
I don't even watch. I don't think I watched that.
No, Rebel Moon, motherfucker.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else. I thought you were talking about something else.
He's like, it was so horrible, I forgot. Don't accuse me of watching that movie.
Because you were on 90s movies. I'm thinking something from 90s and shit.
Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
Together? Okay.
Yeah.
So, obviously, my thoughts on the movie. I have no problem with dialogue movies. In fact, I love them. And as I was going through this goddamn movie and looking at it, it got so spicy the last 30% of the movie when he was just coming at him with everything. But then I thought to myself, nigga kind of preachy. Mo, you can block that out, sorry.
Yeah.
Brother's kind of preachy.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. And I've seen other people say the same thing as well.
Don't get me wrong. I was on the couch when he was going off. He was like, you this, and you did this, and you people do this. I was like, don't hurt him. He killing them. Let him cook. Let him cook. I was
got him.
But then I was like, ooh, you kind of coming across. And then I did have a chance to dive deep in the movie and actually do some research on how this movie was made, who made it, where this came from. And we'll talk about that a little bit later because I want to give your input on that. But let's start from the beginning, shall we? What you got for me, sir?
Well, the movie opens looking at a the degree of Alan Fisher, his doctor of psychiatry degree, and it's little off. So he fixes it. He walks away. He kind of goes off balance again. Then he, parents see him jump out the roof, commit suicide, and then the picture fixes itself.
Yes. So already we have one of those, it's always kind of like those godly devil demon possession movies where like the first 3 minutes something really horrible happens. Yeah. I think in Constantine, you remember when the boy walked out and the fucking car hit him, but he survived and he kept walking with the little dagger in his hand.
Oh, he had the Spear of Destiny.
The Spear. Oh, okay, the Spear of Destiny. Yeah, that. But yeah, and so obviously we get into this situation where we have Sean Patrick Flanery playing the name of, do you have his name, Ito?
Edward Wayne Brady.
Edward Wayne Brady. Yeah. What a wonderful name.
Yeah, it's the Wayne Brady, bitch.
I know, so wholesome. Edward Wayne Brady. Who would have thought he killed, I think it's like 8, 9 people?
Yeah. Apparently, later on, it says, that's the only ones they found type shit.
And he claims at least that side of him claims there are a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
But we get into this area where we have Dr. James being hit up.
Yeah. Basically, Dr. James Martin basically arrives at the prison to determine if Edward Wayne Brady is mentally fit to be executed.
Yes. And the warden, Tom, is just like, hey, bro, we just need you to... This should be a simple little wrap up, you know what I'm saying?
And you're gonna warn him, like he is smart, he might get into your head, fuck you up, a little bit. So be careful.
Yeah.
But he said he don't believe that he's crazy, but then he says Dr. Fisher believed he was insane, and basically that's what looks like. That's why all this is basically happening.
Exactly, and so it often starts like one of them law-abiding citizen, or I can't even think of another movie. But you remember Frailty when you come in and you think the lead character think this is gonna be a simple process in and out, but boy is he in for a motherfucking ride because Edward is interesting, possibly believable. You said you really liked Sean Patrick Flanery's acting in there. I was thinking of Jeffrey D. Morgan. I would just remember the episode when he's like possessed by the demon in Supernatural, and how badass he was in that scene. I was like, oh, I think he could have did it better. But I did like Sean's role in this, and basically they just start really having a discussion.
Well, he walks in there, they give him a walkie-talkie to say, if you need anything, this is what you got. And he walks in there, hi, my name is, and basically Edward Wayne Brady but tells him who he is. You're Dr. Fisher, you're Dr. or Dr.
He is very extensive.
Dr. Martin, and gives him everything in the background. That would have been like, all right, I'll see you later. What the fuck? How the fuck you know all this shit about me? But
I would have been like, that's interesting. That's clever, motherfucker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that you can
of course, he's a psychiatrist, so, he thinks about it like that as well.
Exactly. But then it gets a little more. And, when they sit down at first, he's just like, hey, this is what I'm here to do. And then he, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't Edward don't they start talking about the doctor?
Yeah, he tells him that he made Dr. Fisher kill himself.
Yes, and he was like, well, why would he want to do that? And he was like, well, I'm a demon.
Yeah. And he himself isn't afraid of death.
Yes, type of thing. And he wants to do as much physical pain to the host that he is inhabiting.
Yeah. First he starts like randomly laughing, and then he's like, oh, the doctor's like, what are you laughing? He's like, oh, before you leave here today, you're gonna commit 3 murders.
Yes.
And that giggling and shit out there.
and I thought that concept was pretty interesting, especially the second one. That was pretty. I was like, oh, okay, what are we dealing with here now? That made me go, oh, all right.
Right.
But
this is when he tells him, like, I'm not Edward. It's like he tries, like, like if I tell you my name, you wouldn't understand it type of thing. But if I, break it down as simple as possible, like Nefarious, like that,
and I do like when he does at least attempt to break it down. I was like, okay, I can kind of see where you're going there. But yeah, the first I would say half is kind of them just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Because Dr. James really does not believe that he is possessed at all. There is that one scene that actually played during the trailer when we saw this. Once they start really getting into a conversation, the light explodes.
Yeah.
And even the guy is just like, oh, must be coincidence.
Could have been a coincidence.
Yeah, could have been a coincidence. Well, what else do you got there for me, sir?
Basically, he asked him about how he possessed Edward, and he was like, "Oh, it took time. You know what I mean? It took his whole life. It started when he was a kid. The things he went through, the Ouija board, stuff like that.
I thought
before he fully committed and gave himself up to us. Now he belongs to us.
Yes, and I will. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna jump a bit because I liked it when he's like, "We're the Legion." I was like, I know that movie. That was the first thing I said.
Legion.
And I just remember when all of the things were coming, I was like, oh my God, they're a clique? I was like, all right. But anyways, I liked how he said, we're patient. You people are so in a rush and all that stuff. We death by 1,000 cuts almost. We just pick at you, and then when you really don't realize that you invite us in, then we got haven't you seen us on Paranormal Activity, bitch?
But then Dr. James is like, well, I guess it would be kind of scary, but I'm an atheist.
Yeah, and he's just like, I think he busts out, start laughing because he's like, do you really think saying that you're an atheist protects you from all of this shit? I was like, wow, that was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good one.
That's when I think when he says he's gonna call in the chaplain, and then that's when the light busts.
Yes, I did not like this priest at all. What a weak bitch. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't really call priests. I don't think I've ever called a priest a weak bitch.
Damn, that's kind of fucked up, Melvin.
He was an actor playing a priest, so it's cool. It's fair game. Although you know what? Let me whip out. Oh, you lucky Mo's using my phone. Let me whip out my phone. There's a whole bunch of priests in these mega ass churches flying on private jets that I can call absolute bitches. Joe Osteen. Oh, I'm sorry.
Really?
Mo, you may want to block that out. We don't want him coming. We don't want him coming to get us. Anyways.
You got a different agenda here or something?
No,
Jesus Christ.
Well, we will talk about the agenda of this movie in a little bit. It's so funny. He's like, you got an agenda? So, Jesus Christ. Well, let's get back to the demon possessing movie. All right? But yeah. And so the priest walks in. And at first he is like, you are not wanted here.
Yeah, he kind of like freaks out at first.
Yeah, and he is like, I forget what Edward says, but I believe he says something along the lines of, you want me to like burn in hell. You just want to get rid of me. And the priest actually responds like, actually, no. I forget. He responds in a sort of way where he gets to sit down with Edward at first and they have a conversation because I think he says, oh, I don't believe that you are possessed.
Basically, he was saying that the church has evolved and we don't believe in possession anymore. Like that's not
a thing.
Right. So that's like
and he kind of scooted back. He's like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Like, really? I did. I thought he was gonna.
Put his hand out.
I thought he was gonna do something much worse.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about this movie. This movie was rated R, right?
Yeah.
And the worst scene we got was the fingers thing, and we didn't even get that. And I'm gonna go back to that when we end on this movie because it was very interesting that the movie was rated R. When I first played the trailer to this movie, my sister and my wife was here.
Yeah.
And so I played this trailer. I was like, hey, Ito, did we recommend this movie? You guys want to watch it together? They saw this fucking trailer. They was like, absolutely not. I'm good. But I feel like my son could probably watch this movie, and he's 6. I mean, it wasn't. I mean,
But don't let your son watch this movie. Melvin.
I let my son watch Child's Play.
Don't put this on recording.
Child's Play was worse than this movie.
Yes, I know.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think it deserved that rated R.
I mean, there's certain things that they said and all that. No, there was certain shit they said in there they couldn't pass. If it could have got away, they would have made it PG-13. There was reasons why they made it rated R.
I didn't think it deserved to be.
Well,
yeah,
that's
but,
you. You're not the people to rate the movies, Mel.
I mean, well, fuck the people who rate the movies. You remember
they get paid for that.
Hey, fuck that shit. You remember what they gave Batman versus Superman? It was horrible.
No, I'm talking about, was it a rated R, rated PG, rated PG-13?
Oh, well, absolutely. Fuck those censoring ass motherfuckers. Let's go ahead with the movie. Don't get me started. Can you pour me some, please?
Always with your agendas.
I always have them. On the side at least. On the side at least.
For no reason.
At least. So, let's talk about the first death.
Yeah, so after preacher leaves or whatever, the priest leaves, basically, Dr. James says he thinks it's multiple personality.
Yeah.
This is right
which
there
is
off the
logical.
bat.
Which
Right.
is a logical conclusion.
You know, and then that's basically when Nefarious starts talking about his mother. Mm-hmm. I'm like, just because you think you put her out of misery, that's still murder.
Yes. What did you think about that? At this point, did you think he was a demon? I'm just curious. Like, at this point, when he brings up the mother,
No,
Edward,
not yet.
you know, they kind of do that close up. Edward's like,
Not yet, because this
Okay.
is something that already happened. He
Okay.
could maybe found out somehow
Yeah, found out
from
somehow,
somebody.
you
You know
know.
what I mean?
They
They do find a book later on and all
not
that.
even books. I mean, they can go online.
Yeah, of course.
Certain prisoners can. I don't know if this
Found of
motherfucker
him,
who
right,
murdered
yeah.
18 people. I'm just gonna keep up in
Right,
the ante.
yeah.
18 people. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, so that's basically he's a euthanasia still murder.
Yeah.
You know?
And see.
And then he was, I did not kill my mother. That made him kind of actually snap.
Yes.
He swiped the table and shit.
And that one line kind of annoyed me. I will say, he's like, euthanasia still murder. I'm like, ooh, okay. Where are we going here?
Right.
And so I'm just
But
like,
this is a demon too.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you know,
this is a
he's just
demon.
him conniving and all that shit.
I was like, oh, okay. I was, okay. Anyways, you want to talk about the second death, or do you
Not
want to
yet.
go
Not yet.
straight through? Okay. Lead the way, map guy. No, I'm just.
So
I'm
you
just gonna
said,
start-
like,
I'm
map
about,
guy.
I was just about to say Le Capion. That's what I was about to say at first.
Have to do
Happy New Year. Oh,
So
shit.
they say he gets pissed, swipes the table, and then Ferris is like, "Oh, you must, need a few minutes. Go ahead, take a break. I'll be here."
Yeah.
And he, composes himself and all that.
Is that when the warden comes to? Like,
Not
you
yet,
okay?
no.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. This is, I think, he actually he ends up asking if he could speak to Edward.
Yes.
And then this one, I think he starts talking to Edward, and Edward is like, you can see the change in him, and he's like, "Oh, he made me do it. He makes me do things, and I'm the one that has to suffer the punishment for them,
Because Nefarious / Legion, James seems to, he kind of seems to punk him, and he kind of seems to do the things, even I've done this at times of anger and frustration, when it seems like, just all bad shit happening. You'd be like fucking, we brought this up to Gray.
Yeah.
Like, if you're here, God, do something. And so, James asks him the opposite. Prove it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can you do? And then Nefarious says, we're just going to call him Nefarious, I guess, the demon.
Yeah, that's his name.
That's okay.
Legion is them as a group, as a unit, as one.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. He was like, well, first you gotta let me in. That's what he says. And then he's like, James is like, obviously they have this back and forth, but James at the end, he's like, well, I want something if I actually do this.
If I go with this, I want something
and
type
so
of thing.
James did agree. He let him in, and then James is like, I want to speak to Edward. And this is when Edward comes out. how did you like Sean's performance?
Yeah, that's why I said I liked it. I thought he was good.
That's too much stuttering.
I liked it.
Get
I thought, but as an actor, you know, yeah. I thought he snapped
so much. It just. Could I be an actor?
No, that was bad.
Cringe?
Horrible.
Really?
Yeah,
really? Oh, do you want me to shake?
That makes it worse.
No. Okay.
You're bad.
No. Was it like I was having?
Because he's over here doing it while smiling. I'm in pain.
He's kind of circling and he do the little fingers and the fingers are all bony and shit like mine. I'm like, I think I can hit that shit off, nigga. Somebody's like Dave Chappelle when he's a crackhead and shit. I don't know why, but it just does. But it does seem like Edward is really, really convincing.
Yeah, yeah.
He is extremely dramatic, soft tone like a goddamn child at times, and he is just like.
Well, at this point, Dr. James is convinced he's not faking, but he just thinks he's got multiple personality. He don't believe in the demon shit. You know what I mean? And even at one point, Nefarious was saying that he brought him here to write his manifesto. Yeah. That he is above man. The Creator made him superior, and knows more theology than any man has ever lived.
And I mean, if you're a demon who was,
of course,
been
and that's why
cast out back in the day, you would know.
So they were angels doing God's bidding, and were eternally condemned if they didn't. So they hurt God by destroying what He loved, man.
So interesting. And now, do we get into the second death, sir? Before I don't want to jump too ahead.
Yeah, basically, Dr. James is like, okay, yeah, you're insane. I'm not gonna okay this. And he's like, wait, where are you going? Like, no. He's like, what about Melanie? What's she doing right now? You know.
And that was like this most like maniacal ass voices, like that. Hello, Sydney.
Right.
He's just like, well. And then he stops in his track, and then Drake's like, what the fuck do you know about it? I didn't say that, but he kind of goes off like that. I know. And he's just like, hey, you know what you're doing, right?
You know you're a piece of shit, right?
Yeah,
you're going to break up with her and everything.
And
she's going to do this because she loves you. That's why she's going through with this abortion, and you're a piece of shit.
And what was so fucked up was like, it was so fucked up because it also reminds me of like one of them Stone Cold promos where he was like a heel, but a hilarious heel. Yeah. Dude was like, 4. He's like, oh, can you feel it?
You already get the countdown. 3,
2, 1. I know. It opens the gates to hell. Oh, I was just like, this son of a bitch.
I think he just busted a nut.
No. Oh man, it was. I was just like, okay, that was go.
That was that.
That was go.
And that was a moment like, yeah, this nigga's a demon.
I was like, Mo, bleep out that word.
Demon? No.
Oh my God, I almost threw up some beer. That was fucking funny. But yeah. And you know what I was about to jump to, right? The third death. But I know we got a gap in between.
How dare you?
Let's talk about the third death.
James, he rushes out, tries to call Melanie, and then goes to voicemail, calls the doctor's office. She just got out, and she's in recovery. Which would coincide with the 3.
But what I actually do like about that back and forth, and this is when I thought James was like, oh, he believes now. It's over. When he sat down and he was like, this is why I don't want to have a kid.
Yeah.
I'm not ready. Motherfucker, you talking to a demon or at least an insane person, and you're telling him you're caught up. It's okay. It's like the Skeleton Key. Bitch, you believe now it's over.
Right.
Like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
It's done. It's done.
That was a crazy ass.
It's like, oh, you believe now,
right.
Bitch.
That's all we needed, for you to believe.
And I do what it's a real shit. I call it the supernatural universe.
Yeah.
That's what I believe in personally. I believe in, hey, no matter what God you believe in, as long as that God ain't trying to ask you to hurt people, but live a productive life and, give a little bit. I don't give a fuck if your God is a goddamn goat named Sam.
Put a little love in your heart.
Exactly. Because we're about to get into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Because
well, first, this is after he makes that phone call. This is when this is when the warden comes to him and they smoke cigarette and stuff.
Yes,
like
and
you might need this. He's like, I buy this every time we do execution. Yeah, and whatever's left after that, I throw away.
I'm curious. Do they talk about the execution? Because at first they're thinking he's giving him gas, and he's like, "Nope, not." I don't know if Nefarious.
No, he tells him that
later.
I think later. Not yet.
Okay.
I don't think he told him that yet.
All right.
But yeah.
Can you believe some states still?
Yeah, but they apparently they let the prisoner choose.
I mean, you know, some ratchet ass prisoner probably gonna want to be electrocuted until they're electrocuted. You know what I'm saying? That's wild to me. I'd just rather be shot. Like just quick, simple shot, you know?
Right.
Line you up against the wall like you remember that tombstone? What do you want on your tombstone? The pizza back in the day? I wonder if they still make that shit. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, they do.
Anyways, Happy New Bear.
Happy New Bear.
I see you with the Samoa Joe shirt. Did you see that Mac versus with Hook? Samoa Joe versus Hook?
Yeah.
And did you hear about Seth Rollins?
Yes, I did.
Oh my fucking God. Anyway.
So he's going to have to give up that belt.
That is terrible. I don't know if CM Punk was going to beat him at WrestleMania for that belt, you know, because it's his first lap around. You got to make sure you act right. You know, you're going to take that L. But
now I feel like they're going to give it to him.
You know what I hope? You know who I hope they give it to? I'm on some real shit. Damian Priest. Can we please get this Money in the Bank?
I know the Money in the Bank. I just want him to use that shit already.
Oh, can we please get that shit off him?
Anyway.
Anywho. So, you know, he is talking to the warden. And does the warden take him into that room at this point?
No, No. He's basically saying,
that's where I'm at.
You got an hour left.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
That's just when they tell him you got an hour left.
Especially because James is like, I think he is like, I don't think we're gonna kill him. And the warden's like, what? You know how much I got? I ordered 100 wings. And he's just like, come on, man. Anyways, go ahead, man.
So then he goes back to the room with Nefarious, and he's like, I'll sign off on your death if you answer me one question. How did you know about my girlfriend? He's like, I'm a demon. What the fuck? And then Perry starts speaking some Latin tongue and all that stuff, and this is when he says their name are Legion.
Yes.
You know, meaning there are many, and they are battling against the whole human race. And then James is when Dr. Dre tried to even defend humans, said we're better, we gotten better over the years. And he's like, that's a good thing for us. Like you guys basically know how to like hide it now or some shit. You know what I mean?
No, I mean I feel like what he was saying was, I'm not disagreeing with
you.
But I feel like what he was saying was yes, you guys have gotten better in certain areas, but you guys also recognize that a lot of bad shit happens. You know what I'm saying? You could take care of your family, but if you see a woman getting her ass whooped outside and you just walk past, are you really good? As my dog is deciding to just randomly bark right now. Anyways, but you know, that's what he was getting. He was like, you can donate to charity, but you still eat meat. Y'all ass has wiped out all of the fucking animals and you know, all that shit.
Of course.
So they have a good back and forth about this context. And basically he says, we're winning, bitch.
Yeah, basically.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah, you think it's good, but it's good for us type shit. Exactly. And this is when he tells them about the electric chair.
Yes. And at this point, he is just like, hey, I want to do as much damage to Edward as I can do possible, and with an electric chair.
Yeah, this is like my final goodbye to him.
Exactly. And it is just going to get so bad for him. I've done my job. I'm cool.
Right.
And because of that, James is so fucking pissed off. He signs the paper.
Not yet.
I mean, well,
this is when the warden gets him to go to the room.
Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. My bad. This is when the warden gets him to go to the room.
Yeah. It shows that he had a book
at all of the past things.
Well, I mean, the main thing was he had a book of Dr. Fisher.
James, like.
Yeah, his whole life, pictures of him that he didn't know existed. He said, and all that, and then the already written manifesto, and it says written by Dr. James Martin.
Yes.
On there, and this is the something of Nefarious.
Yes, and he goes
the return.
And then he goes back to Edward and he's like, how did you get this? Like, where did you get this from? And he says, we've been following you your whole life,
right,
pretty much. And that is when, obviously.
You see, at the same time, he's over here at the bottom of the table breaking his fingers to get out of the cuff. And then he snatches up James and chokes him with the chains.
Mm-hmm. And he's basically asking James to plead.
Yeah,
for
he said,
his
beg
life.
for your life type shit.
And James begs.
Yes.
You know, he's like, don't you feel it? This eye, you know, your soul leaving your body. Beg me.
Yeah.
And then he begs him. And then James gets
right.
At this point,
he lets him go. He said, I'll let you go because I feel like we have a bond.
Yeah.
I'll let you live, you know, type of shit. He lets him go. They, police tackle him, and then he signs off on the kill. Number 3.
Yes. So, at this point, we are pretty much at the execution.
Yeah.
And
the warden tells him, you should just leave.
Yes.
Let's go. He's like, no, I need to see this through type shit.
The only other thing I will mention, which was just heartbreaking, if Edward was possessed, I guess, well, by the ending, I guess, he was. But when Edward tries to order his last meal. But
yeah.
That was fucked up.
Yeah, burger.
And so,
he's like, I don't want nothing.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. We didn't even talk about the pinky part either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he was like, doesn't that hurt?
What happened was Edward came out without Nefarious' permission. He came out and said something, and he's like, that's against the rules. Now you must suffer, and he must suffer. And that's why he broke the finger.
Yeah.
And then put it back. Yeah.
And then I remember the part where he was trembling. He's like, "Don't you feel pain?" He's like, "Yeah, I feel pain, but
you're sweating. Are you holding back?" Type of thing. He was like, "Oh, it's his body reacting to it.
Exactly.
I don't feel this shit."
So we get to execution day, and then James
Nefarious gets his hair cut.
Yes, James is sitting next to a cop that's just like, man, I've been waiting for this a long fucking time, man. He's just like, I'm good to go. Let's fry this motherfucker.
He said he worked on this case for 6 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're like, his last word, they strapped him up to the chair. Last words with basically ask James if he accepts the deal.
And they ask him.
And they speak some other tongue shit.
Do you want to walk down the Green Mile?
This guy. Really? No.
Yes, boss. Hey, that was a good impression, right? That was a good impression. But wasn't that a good impression? Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna hold back because I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to say nothing.
Yep, exactly. And he does say something emotional. Whatever. He does say something. He does say something emotional. He's just like, I didn't do this. This isn't right. Please, somebody help me. But at the end of the day,
that's what he snapped out.
Edward is executed, and he is executed brutally
yes,
because
he had to do it twice.
Things Nefarious said I'm gonna do this so horrible
because it's not gonna happen. Right, it's not gonna happen on the first time. It usually doesn't with the
really?
chairs. Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that. So
that's why after every time they have to go check the pulse and shit to make sure he did die.
Okay. So we're closing in on the last call here.
So
yeah.
At this point,
I was about to say.
At this point, he died. He gets killed.
Bitch, but okay.
Well, yeah, but you suck because you keep drifting off other places.
You fit. What? Did you say I was saying something racist?
No.
I thought you said I was like racist. What did I say that was wrong? I mean, fuck Joe Olsen. Well, can you block that out again for me? But yeah. After he is killed, after Edward is executed, Nefarious goes in
to Dr. James.
Dr. James, and I would say he let him in.
Yeah, and that's why. That's why when he was like, I accept it. That's why.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna do it now. Type of shit. Then that's the reason. Like he was waiting for that time.
Yes, and he grabs the police who was sitting by him gun. And who is he trying to? Was he trying to kill himself?
First he starts waving at people, and then he was like, "I can't control myself. He took control of me. You know what I mean? I can only control my what I can say, but I can't control my body." And then he points it at himself.
Yes.
And then he's like, "God, please help me." And then it pulls the trigger and doesn't go 3 times. It don't work. They tested it later, all that shit, and it worked like no problem. So there's supposed to be divine intervention.
Yeah, and so then he's on the talk show. One of those late night Carson.
One year later.
Yes, 1 year later, and he's speaking about exactly what Nefarious said. You are going to.
Well, no, but he took that book and rewrote it as a warning to man.
Bro, you know all the Satanists out there go be like,
well,
we gotta
don't
buy
matter
this
what,
book. That book gonna be #1 seller. Everybody gonna be like, so you do.
I'm pretty sure he didn't put what he wanted in there.
Oh, you haven't seen that movie. Talk to me, because it's so crazy. It is just like, you would think people wouldn't do that dumb shit after you see it online, but motherfuckers would be like, guess what I got?
What I'm saying is his book was a warning, so he's not going to put how to do fucked up shit in the book.
No, I'm just saying motherfuckers are still trying to trace that shit. But,
racist.
So here's what I'm going to say. Obviously, like I said, I did do some little bit of digging.
Well, he saw the homeless lady too. You know, that's how it ended.
I don't remember the homeless lady.
He leaves after the show, go see a homeless lady, gonna give her a cup of money, and she looks at him. Hello, James. Miss me?
Yes.
How you
that
forget
was
that?
A Goosebumps ass ending.
It was.
That's why I was.
You still gotta say it, Melvin.
I'm sorry, Jesus Christ.
God. But now go to your preaching.
But what I wanted to say.
We're already pretty long. I'm pretty sure. Let's just cut it. Shut up.
Actually, we're not. Actually, we're not. You're good. You're good. But no, what I wanted to say was I did some research up on here, and I found out that the director who made this movie is a very conservative religious fanatic. Okay. And that makes sense about this movie because
they wrote and directed it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He did a previous movie that was called
the other guy,
God Left
The other
You.
guy, they wrote whatever they did movies that guy directed, they both did together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Both of them.
And one is an actual priest.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? Because Nefarious brought up abortion. He was bringing up every religious motherfucking checklist, euthanasia, all that shit. And the guy at the end, oh my God, and then it doesn't shoot.
The atheist calling for God.
Exactly. I was just like, ooh, this was a little bit too much on the nail. The head on the head. This may
But it was still very enjoyable.
It may turn a lot of people off.
I know. I figured it probably would. And I thought the same thing.
I did like the conversation. I wasn't a fan of the ending, and after I know I always bring this up. Leave the world behind. Obama, man. More with that Obama shit. Obama, you know what I'm saying? It's a conspiracy. That's they made this movie to specifically do this for specific reasons, and I just remember a fucking Catholic movie was like The Rapture, where it's so many bad, everybody was disappearing. That's like this, but like a little thriller-ish. But now we're gonna get to the last call, and before let me put it in the search key. Nefarious Rotten Tomato. I'm not even gonna push enter. So what we're gonna do here is, oh wait, there's one more. We didn't even do a fucking shout out. So we're gonna do back-to-backs in this bitch. All right, okay. So I am assuming
my shout out is gonna go out to Sean Patrick Flannery, the actor, because I think he snapped.
You easy piece of shit. Go ahead.
I'm a dirty slut.
You know what I like to do? I like to give a shout out to that door that closed that made that loud sound. That chikoom. They were brilliant. It was brilliant.
What door?
The door. The door. When it closed.
The prison door.
Yes, the prison door. It was loud.
That's how
intense.
I know, right? That's how you know he's never been locked up.
Actually, I have.
I'm just fine.
That's
a scary ass. How you gonna call out the sound of prison door locking?
I'm a thug. All right, look, let me. Mo, can you post this up?
Hey, I got arrested for urinating in public.
No, my black ass was taken to jail in the patio. Maybe that'll be a story time one day. Anyways,
you did it to yourself. No.
Don't we out, nigga? You peed in. Mo, can you block that? You peed in the parking lot.
No, it was on the street. No.
Okay. So first we're going to do the critic score, which is obviously the people who review. What do you think they gave this God-fearing movie?
50.
Okay, so if you over...
They don't count. What do you say?
30.
Okay. What is it?
Oh, okay. We gotta do both. What do you think? Or do we just
want
to talk to you about the audience?
Yeah, because we're only gonna do one more shot. We're not gonna take one for each of us.
No, hell no. But I just didn't want to click and then we guess and then I see the second one and shit.
I mean, we can still guess though. We can still guess.
What do you think the audience score is?
I say 60.
I would say the same thing. I think it will be 60. A lot of evangelicals in this bitch. We were both wrong. 33% review. And when I said there's a lot of evangelicals in this bitch, 96%.
Damn!
Love this movie!
Yo, Roby loved this fucking movie.
He loved this movie. Wow, 96. Yes, yeah. I don't think this was better than Leave the World Behind. I'm just going is it better than our previous?
I did. I give this an 8.
Wow. Yeah. I give it a 6. You know what? No, what did I give Rebel Moon? I can't 4?
Give. Okay. A 5 or 4, right?
Okay, if it was a 4,
I sounds like 5 or 4. I can't remember.
Like, you know what?
Or was it? I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay. So let's for the record, if I gave that shit a 6, I'm bringing it down. Rebel Moon is a 4 now, just in case I didn't do that. But I will put this a 6, above average. You know, I'm not saying 60% like a D. 50% is average. I say 60%. I really love the fucking dialogue, but at one point I was just like, wait a minute.
I don't know, but that made you drop it like that just because of that?
No, I mean, it's
like,
it's
I know,
preachy,
I
man.
know,
like, you can watch this shit in church for the teenagers. I'm just saying, teenage night, they can play this movie. What? I mean, seriously, what did they do in this movie that teenagers couldn't watch in the church? If you try to scare motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you remember when Passion of the Christ came out? Them motherfuckers was going to the church, and that shit did way more shit than this.
Melvin's an anti-Semite. No.
Don't you sit up there and do that. You know, should I do a Kyrie? You know, the black people were the first Jews. I was just about to do the outro. Ooh, I was.
We both went over. I
was feeling it. Yeah, we both went over. So we take the loser shots. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
And this is Ito.
And we are
the Carbonation Conversation.
Review
Nefarious.
By Amazon Prime. Or at least on it right now.
Oh, on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, at least on it right now. And if you like what you hear, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell. We are in a journey to 1,000 subscribers, and we will really appreciate it. And as always,
Mo Beats all day.
A shout out to Mo Beats in the background doing all the hard work as we drink and have a good fucking time. And as always, don't drink and drive.
Drink and vibe.
Peace.
Literacy is at an all-time high. We're working to eliminate racism, intolerance, gender inequality. People can